Is good. What's up? If your Instagram is not making you money, which it should be, then you're really gonna love this training. Today we are focused on your IG strategy. All right, and one of the biggest things that I've learned throughout being in this business since 2015 is that you have to leverage social media in the right way in order to generate clients and to make money. If you don't know how to do that, what the biggest issue you're going to have is always trying to chase people, always trying to figure out, say buy my services, or can I help you? Or you're always going to be chasing people, but you have to do it the right way. And once you're able to do that, you're going to be able to take it to the next level. So today I'm going to share with you what the IG strategy, that the Instagram strategy that I share with our clients, how they've been able to, book appointments on a consistent basis, organically. And there's some paid strategies that I'll walk you through too at the end as a bonus. But this is mostly organic. And then also how to uh, get the type of clientele that's actually going to want to work with you. So I hope you are excited about that. So I'm just calling this the IG strategy. What made me really come up with this is I was trying to figure this out. This was like during my initial years, my first few years, I was really trying to figure out what I should be doing online, and eventually I started running ads, and then that really helped. But I also wanted to still be able to come across people online that may see me or might be interested or might be a good fit, but I didn't really understand how I should engage with them. And so because of that, it was a little slow at first, but I realized that there is a way that you can engage with your ideal client online and be able to book and speak with them and actually have them become clients. And when you do this in the right way, I realized that also allowed me to be able to generate revenue. But I found that most folks don't even have a strategy. They just get online and they just post. And this is what I call the post and pray syndrome. You know what that is? The post and pray syndrome is when you post and then you just pray that you get clients. You pray that somebody signs up. You pray somebody reaches out to you, but we all know that doesn't happen. So you got to have a strategy. And so this is the strategy that I teach our clients. All right. So first we have the first part of this, right? You see kind of like this little circle here, right? So we call this, and this is where you want to start, right? So first thing you got to do when you want to be able to get clients using Instagram, the first thing is we have to do what we call the lead gen cycle. The lead gen cycle. Coach T, what is the lead gen cycle? The lead generation cycle is you have to have different mechanisms and different techniques that you're using in order to attract people. By the way, this works on a lot of other sites too, but Instagram is my favorite. So that's what we working with today. But if you want this to work, you have to use a variety of different ways and strategies in order to get people to what the next two steps are. But your first goal is this step. This is so one thing. How can you do this? Now, I'm gonna tell you what the big mistake are, and then I'm gonna go through a couple of them. Big mistake I see is people post, and then what they'll do is they'll post, and then they'll wait for somebody to reach out, or they'll post and then they'll looking at the views and hoping that they get all the views, or they post and they're looking at the likes and they're looking at the comments and they're like, oh man, nobody's engaging. But what you don't realize is that I've had people that have came to me, influencers that came to me, 500,000 plus followers, asking me, how do I monetize this? And it's because it's not about the engagement. It's not just about that. It's not for the way that you think. So, but let me go through a couple ways, right? So first is you have to generate traffic, meaning you have to generate interest in what you're doing. You have the thing about these social media platforms, and we're using Instagram, for example, is the people are going to like what you do if you're speaking to their needs, if they feel like you're solving their problem, if they feel like what you have is hitting, they'll be like, yo, I love this, or maybe they'll comment, maybe they won't, maybe they'll just like. But you have to do these different things. So I'm gonna give you some ideas. So number one is the most obvious one. I'm gonna write that down. Actually, let me put this down here. It might be easier. And again, this is all the things you need to do, right? So one is obviously you need to post content, right? So that's number one. You know, just regular any kind of posts, videos, things of that nature. So you want to be able to post content. I'm gonna go. So that's an obvious one. We keep on going, right? Second, you know, do lives. Lives are a great way to generate engagement. Your whole goal right now is you want to see who's interested. It's like somebody putting up their hand and saying, "Oh wow, I really like this piece of content because I feel like, you know, I feel like you can help me," right? But you have to be able to, you have to be known. People got to know you. People have to be aware of you. What's another thing that you can do in order to get awareness? Because that's really what this is. It's like you want to generate awareness, and then you want to have somebody take some type of action towards you. Another thing you can do is comments, right? All of these obviously is on your topic, right? I think that's pretty obvious. So these are on your topics. Comments. What do? Go to whoever the influencers are on your space, and why don't you comment on their page? Comment, like go into the comment and actually comment, but don't just put fire emojis. Go and give real value. When you're able to give real value, then what's going to happen is you're going to get people that's going to like your comment. You're going to get people that is going to reply to your comment. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you an indicator. Typically, if people are, you know, are showing some type of interest in that way, you might find that you have some potential leads, because your goal here is a lead generation cycle, right? Your goal is to see who is showing me interest to generate leads. That is why we are doing this. We want to see who likes what we're talking about, right? So you can do comment, you can do lives. You can do lives. You can do ads, right? These are all things that you can do online that will make people interested, right? So you can do ads. Running these ads is also important, right? If you're running ads, people are clicking, people are signing up. These are ways that you can leverage. You can leverage Instagram in order to generate the comments. You can also do collabs, right? So you know how you do collaboration posts. That's a good way to hack somebody else's audience. So you do a collab post where you know, not just like tag them, not just at them, but you actually do a collab on the post where you see, you know, both of y'all have many people that's actually collaborating on a post. And guess what? Now their audience is going to see you, and then you can also be able to engage with that audience. I'm gonna give you a couple other things that's like offshoots or branches of these, right? You know, if you want, you could do webinar invites, right? Webinar invites. You should be doing at least every month. You should be doing some type of webinar invitations. You should be training, doing long form. If the only thing that you're doing is short form, you're shorting yourself. You should be doing webinar invites. You know, there was a point in time where I was really just getting comfortable putting out content, and I got into a phase where I was just putting out short stuff, short stuff, and then I realized that people were getting some awareness about me, but they didn't really understand what I teach. They didn't really understand who I was. They didn't really learn about me. You know, they didn't. A lot of people didn't know I'm, you know, from New York, or they didn't know I teach coaching, but I also have a social media marketing agency, and you know, I've worked with over 500 in 88 clients, so hundreds of clients. You know, I've been you know, been able to master ads throughout the years. You know, I know a lot of the top name gurus and influencers on a first name basis. Shout out to Evan Carmichael, shout out to E.T. the hip hop preacher. You know, so you know, a lot of people they didn't know I'm in the fraternity. Shout out to Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to everybody that's in Divine Nine, right? So, but these are the things that if you're not giving people longer form content, they can't really learn about you. They can't really know who you are. They don't really know what your personality is. They don't really know what it's like to even coach with you, because you're just putting out little clips. Your goal is you want to give people longer form, and a good way to do that is do webinar invites. And guess what? People like the webinar invites too. So they're going to be willing to rock with you for long if it's a topic they really want to know, right? And I'm going to tell you why all of this stuff is important. You know, you see a lot of people doing challenges. So boom, you know, you can rock out with the challenges, right? So challenges is a good way. You know, maybe you give out something like lead magnets. Lead magnets are good ways, right? So Coach T, all right, I got it. So, you know, you've given me a lot of ideas here of things that I can do online, on Instagram, content, lives, comment on other people's things and give value, ads, collabs, webinar invites, challenges, lead magnets. Also, I'll give you another one too. Shares. You can share other people's stuff. These are all ways that you will get on somebody's radar. That is your ideal client. So your goal is you need to get on a radar. You got to get awareness. When you get that awareness by doing these different things, what you're doing is you're initiating what we call the lead generation cycle. When you initiate this lead generation cycle, now that's going to give you the ability to see who's interested in what you have. Once you start to see who's interested in what you have through the engagement, this is when you go to the second step. Now, now you're getting people that's saying, thank you for sharing. Now you're getting people that say, oh, I would love to join the webinar. Now you're getting people that's liking your content. You're getting people that's joining your lives. You got people that's commenting on your comment or liking your comment. You got people that are clicking on your ads or signing up through the ads. You collaborating. So you got new people commenting on your stuff. You got people that saying, I would love that challenge. So you see what I'm saying, right? You got people that say, oh, I would love to download that ebook or that lead magnet that you're offering. So now you're getting what we call IOIs. You're getting these indicators of interest. Now that you're getting these indicators of interest, and this is the big part that most people, first of all, 95% of coaches aren't even doing this stuff. They just posting content. But once you start doing this stuff and you start generating some buzz, now this is where you're gonna initiate what we call the DM script, right? Where basically you're DMing. Your goal is the DM. Your goal is to direct message. So here's the thing: is like once you start getting the engagement, is you have to initiate a conversation with people. See, here's the thing: you'll get people who wanna, they'll comment on your stuff on initially, but then now you have to initiate a private conversation. And that's not just jumping in the inbox and saying, will you buy from me? Right? That's not, nobody's going to put their credit card information. Nobody swipes their card and they're going to give it to you in your DM. But what it does do, when they initiate like this, it makes it more likely that they respond via direct message. And that's what you want. You want to make it more likely to respond. When somebody sees that you're a real person, and now they're like, okay, yo, you cool, you're a real person, you commented on my thing, or you giving out value, giving out game, and you just initiate the conversation like that. And that's how you really want to start the DM script. I'll give you some examples of this. So you'll say, let's say somebody just likes something. You say, yo, I really appreciate you, for liking my post. What interests you about it? Oh, like anything. Maybe you commented on something that they did. You say, yo, congratulations. I saw that your daughter just graduated high school. I don't know. But you find things to initiate conversations about based on what they did. And that's what's important about this, is based on what they did. So you initiate the conversation. Then this is like a screening as well, too. So you go through, you kind of see what their goals are, you see what the challenges are, you have that, and you will get a percentage of people that will want to speak to you. Say, hey, are you open to some feedback? Would you, are you open to a few ideas? Would you be open to some recommendations? Something along the lines of very helpful, low pressure, chill, right? Everybody is not going to respond. Some people's going to ghost you, but some people are going to be serious about actually getting a result, and they're going to want to work with you, or they're going to want to at least have a conversation with you. Once you have this, and I'm telling you, most people don't even do that because they're nervous, they're afraid, but humans are humans. Like, you can have a conversation with. It's no different than if you were at a networking event and you were on stage speaking, or you just having a conversation with somebody. That's literally what the DM is. It's just in person. You're just having a direct conversation, or if it's online, it's a direct message. Same thing, right? Now, what that does is that takes you from a direct message, and then that takes you to a call. Most people call it strategy call, discovery call, whatever you call it, whatever you want, right? But at the end of the day, it's going to take you to a call, Zoom call, whatever, right? But it's going to take you to a call. Now, depending on your process, some people might be more advanced. You might have, a 2 close or more process. If you're a beginner, you kind of just getting your first few clients. You might just, you could literally just, you'll offer your services on that call. You'll reinitiate what it's like to work with you, or you'll really initiate the pain, the goals, and just to kind of keep it simple. And then you provide the offer, right? We have specific scripts for that, but just to keep it simple, that's pretty much what you're going to have a conversation about. And then you'll get a percentage of those people who are going to become clients. Okay. And you're going to generate revenue. So here's the big idea with all of this is that, you know, if you've been on Instagram for months, you've been on Instagram for or years. A lot of people have been on Instagram for a long time. You might have been on Instagram for a decade. And you've been working in your business for the last 5 years, last 10 years, and you still not getting clients. I guarantee you, you're not following this process. I guarantee you that there's something in here. You're missing something. You're either not posting content consistently, so you're not really getting the engagement, or you're posting, but you're not initiating any DMs from the engagement that you're getting. Because remember, the goal of this is the engagement, because you got to get the indicators of interest to know who's interested. You're not just randomly reaching out to people. Or you're probably not going live, you're not commenting on other people's stuff, or you're doing some of these things, but you're not taking it to the next step, right? Like you might say, no, Terrell, I've done collabs before, but then my question for you is, okay, if we did collabs, did you reach out to every person that commented? Did you thank them? Did you initiate a conversation? Oh, probably did not do that, right? You know, you might say, no, I've commented on people's stuff before, but was it your ideal client? Did you look at their profile to see if they were your ideal client? And you commented on it intentionally. And then from that intention, they responded back, which opened up the doorway for you to be able to have a conversation via DM. Did you do that? You see what I'm saying? So usually there's holes in a bucket that's dripping, and there's a reason why you're not getting all the way to the sale or the close, right? So that's what the idea is you want to do these things. You follow the lead gen cycle, initiate the DM script where you're going to have a conversation. Basically, it's going to be pain. You see what their goal are, see what the pain is, see what they've been having struggles with. And then some of those people will be open to recommendations. And then once you make that call to action, like, hey, you know, are you open to a recommendation based on the challenge you just told me? Then that's when you book the call, right? And back in the day, it used to work when I would send out a Calendly link, but you know, people get busy today, so you don't really want to do it that way anymore. Like that was probably 2-3 years ago. Today we do concierge, meaning you just book it for them. That's the fastest, that's the easiest way. So you book them on an appointment, you know, or call, and then on that call is how you generate the revenue. Okay, so you DM script, books an appointment, right? Just to be clear, right? The DM script is going to book you, is going to take them to an appointment, right? And then that appointment is going to generate a call. And that call is where you're going to dive deeper into the pain, dive deeper into the goal, and then offer how you can help. This is the process you're going to follow on Instagram. And you're going to do it over and over and over again. You're not going to do it once. You're not going to do it 5 times. You're not going to do it 10 times. You're going to keep doing it until you get better. Because just like anything else in business, it's a process of getting better. It's a skill, right? It's a skill. Knowing how to create content better so you can get more quality people engaging with your posts is a skill, right? Being able to go live and train and give better quality content so people could get better and deeper insights and get better, and you get more quality people. That's a skill. Being able to do very thoughtful comments than just doing fire emojis is a skill. Being able to run ads obviously is a skill. Being able to, when you do your collabs, you do it the right way. People will say, yo, I need to follow you. That's a skill. Being able to do call to actions and webinar invites is a skill. Challenge is a skill. Knowing how to offer the lead magnet, especially one that your audience actually wants to download or access, is a skill, right? Being, in sharing doesn't really take a skill to share. But at the end of the day, once you share, how do you initiate that conversation? Right? It's kind of like prospecting, right? You prospect in a way that's a skill. You know, if you're not running ads, you really left up to doing prospecting. So the cheat code to all of this is if you run ads, right? So I have a social media marketing agency where we specialize in lead generation for coaches, which actually at the point that I'm doing this now, we've been transitioning and helping more 6- and 7-figure coaches as well, being able to run their lead generation campaigns on Meta. When I'm telling you, if you're able to run ads, Ads is like the cheat code because it's going to, when you run ads, your ideal audience is going to see it, a messaging that they resonate with, and then they're going to click and they're going to sign up. But guess what? You're going to get a lot of people. You're going to get some people who are not going to sign up, which is okay. That's part of the ads game. Just because you how many times you've seen marketing or ads and you didn't engage with it, right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing though, right? The thing with this is going to, when you do this right, you're going to be in a place where you can actually reach out to the people that like the post. Think about that. So when I run ads, and I've had millions of people that have seen my ads, but guess what? Every person who views, every person who clicks, anybody is in the advertising world, no, every person who click is not going to convert. It's not going to, but you will get a lot of people that also comment, and you will also get people that like. Those are also additional opportunities for you to initiate DMs. Most people don't think about that or have not realized that, but you can actually use that. So you really have 2 bites at the apple when it comes to running ads. So that's kind of like the cheat code when it comes to running these ads on Instagram. All right, so go out, follow these strategies. If this is something that you are interested in, actually at the time that I'm doing this right now, we actually getting ready to go up on our prices for our lead generation agency. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and put details in the comments and save some money. Save about $3,300 if you want us to be able to run your ads so you can be able to generate more leads. All right. So if you want to do it the fast way, if you want the cheat code way and do the ads route, then we'll set up and we'll run the ads for you. Otherwise, you can do the organic route, which is just what I walked you through, and see how that goes for you as well. All right. So hopefully you found a lot out of this. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and slow motion is better than no motion. Let's work.